Imagine, you enter the world not with a simple cry, but with the weight of an entire kingdom. It rests upon your shoulders, still fragile. The air is heavy, damp, smelling of peat smoke and poor sanitation. There's no immediate warmth from your mother. She's likely exhausted, recovering for the next heir attempt. Instead, a wet nurse, a stranger, lifts you. Your first days are a game of Russian roulette. Diseases lurk in every cold castle corner. Infant mortality is a companion as common as the rats. They scurry in the open sewers. Welcome to your glorious life, Prince. Surviving the first week is already your first, most difficult victory. This isn't just about breathing. It's about holding a fragile legacy. Every cough is an omen, every fever a national crisis in miniature. So, good luck, little royal, you'll need it. You are not just a baby. You are a state investment, a living future asset. Your survival is an obsession, but medieval medicine, it's mostly prayers and bloodletting. You're fed by a wet nurse. Genuine maternal contact is a rare luxury. Every cough, every fever is monitored with veiled desperation that the kingdom might lose its future. Surviving your first 5 years is considered nothing short of a miracle. It's a blessing for your lineage, a sign from God himself. But don't be fooled by this good fortune. It doesn't mean more affection or soft words. It only means more crushing expectations placed upon your tiny shoulders. Welcome to the relentless pressure of being born into power. Forget carefree playdates or joyful romps in the sun. Your childhood is a brutal succession of lessons and harsh training. By age 7, you are ripped from any lingering comfort. You're handed over to stern weapons masters and tutors. Latin rhetoric strategy. These are your new toys. Your father, the king, expects an implacable warrior. He demands a shrewd diplomat and a just and profitable ruler. He's not interested in your drawings or how you feel today. He cares about your capacity to wield a sword and command men. To maintain control of Duke X's lands, and don't you dare complain. Your education is relentlessly military and utterly practical to its core. You learn to ride heavily armored horses, even when your tiny legs barely reach the stirrups. You master swords, lances, and maces until your muscles scream for mercy. You are thrown into brutal tournaments and simulated skirmishes. Here, injuries are deemed valuable lessons, not accidents. Death is a constant, stark reminder of your future's brutal reality. Making a mistake means utter shame, a disgrace. And shame for a prince is a wound far deeper than any sword cut. Each scar becomes an honor, but also proof that you're just flesh, just another pawn on the unforgiving chessboard of power. Congratulations, you have siblings. How fortunate, right? Utterly wrong. Your own brothers and sisters are your gravest, closest rivals. Each one is a potential threat to your precious throne. Succession struggles are not fanciful tales. They are your stark, brutal reality. You learn early to distrust glances, to interpret whispers, to suspect every well-intentioned gift. How many uncles, brothers, and cousins were blinded, imprisoned, or poisoned? All to ensure the stability of the realm, to clear your path. This is your family, and you are just another potential target. So, sleep with one eye open, Prince, and perhaps a food taster nearby. Trust no one, especially not those who share your blood. By 15, perhaps 16, you are declared ready for marriage. By ready, I mean your parents have already brokered your hand. They treat it like a valuable piece of livestock at auction. Your bride is a princess from a neighboring kingdom, someone you've never met. Or maybe you've only seen her in an unflattering, exaggerated portrait. She might be old, ugly, sickly, or possess a hellish temperament. None of that truly matters. What does matter is the political alliance she brings. The lands, the dowry, the army she secures for your future. Love? That's a luxury reserved for common peasants, certainly not for you. Your marital bed is a diplomatic battlefield, your future merely an extension of a treaty. If you survive infancy, youth, family intrigue, and actually get married, congratulations. Now you have an entire kingdom to govern, a weighty responsibility. But this means less time at lavish banquets, more time dealing with everything else. You face starving peasant revolts, brutal tax collections, and implacable justice. There are endless negotiations with dissatisfied, power-hungry barons. Are the people hungry? It's not your immediate problem, but you must maintain order. Has the plague arrived? Send more priests to pray. Your life is an endless, exhausting session of crisis management. The slightest failure can easily cost you your precious throne. Or more likely, your very head, severed for all to see. Leader, warrior, protector, you are expected to don your heavy armor. Surprisingly uncomfortable, by the way. You must lead your men into battle. Whether it's a holy crusade or a petty border dispute, the battlefield is your second home. The stench of blood, fear, and human excrement is a constant, nauseating presence. You could be captured, then held for an exorbitant ransom, which might never be paid. You could be severely wounded, perhaps even horribly mutilated for life. Or you might simply die, a mundane arrow through your chest. This abruptly ends your glorious lineage, a sudden, inglorious end. Glory is for the bards who sing your tales. Pain and profound fear are for you. Every battle is a dice roll with your very existence. Castles are indeed impressive architectural marvels, but let's be honest. They are also absolute hotbeds for every conceivable disease known to man. Hygiene is rudimentary at best, water isn't always clean, and sanitation? That's a concept so futuristic it might as well be magic. The Black Death didn't care if you were a lowly peasant or a mighty prince. It swept everyone away indiscriminately. Smallpox, dysentery, fevers. Each was a lurking death sentence. You might have the kingdom's finest physicians, but they'll likely bleed you into oblivion. Or apply a few leeches for good measure. Good luck with that. Ultimately, the best you can really do is pray and hope it's not your turn. Ah, the privileges. You possess the finest horses, the most luxurious clothes, the most lavish banquets. But every single word you utter is overheard. Every movement observed. Every decision you make is meticulously analyzed by 1,000 hidden eyes. Your private life, it's an absolute joke, a public spectacle. You are never truly alone, never genuinely free to be yourself. People flatter you, they fear you, but they rarely truly love you. Your entire life is a constant, exhausting performance for the court, for the common people, and most importantly, for God himself. And deep down, you know you are more a symbol than a living human being. A figure to be molded and manipulated to serve the interests of others. Your paramount duty, above all else, is to produce a legitimate heir. And it must be a son, strong, healthy, and undoubtedly male. Your wife is viewed almost solely as a walking, breathing womb. The pressure to guarantee the dynasty's continuity is absolutely immense. Failing to produce an heir means not only personal disgrace, but also the threat. The looming specter of chaos and devastating civil war for your entire kingdom. Each pregnancy becomes a significant state event, scrutinized by all. Every single childbirth is a moment of terror and intense collective expectation. And if you have too many daughters, well, best try again immediately. Because for a medieval prince, the sacred lineage is truly everything. You sit upon your throne, perhaps already a king, weary with the weight of years. Torches flicker ominously on the cold, ancient walls of your council chamber. There's a new petition from a group of desperately starving peasants. Then a land dispute between two powerful, squabbling nobles. A breathless messenger arrives with urgent news of a full-blown rebellion. It's erupting in a distant, forgotten province. You feel the crushing weight of the crown. Not merely on your aching head, but deep within your very soul. Outside, a bitter winter storm howls its mournful lament. You remember the day when, as a small boy, you saw lightning split a tree. It was right there in the castle courtyard. You thought then of death, of its swiftness. Now a grown man, you realize true death isn't the swiftness of a blade, nor the quick end of a sudden virulent disease. It is the agonizingly slow death of your own humanity itself, crushed slowly under the immense weight of expectation, under the constant soul-destroying intrigue of the court, under the chilling, absolute loneliness that comes with absolute power. You sigh, a sound of profound exhaustion that echoes faintly in the vast room. There are still many more dreadful reports to be read before the first light of dawn. Glory, you now understand with bitter clarity, is merely a lie, a comforting falsehood told to justify the living hell you endure. And so, my dear viewer, that was the fantastic life of a prince in the Middle Ages, full of gold, immense power, and, well, mostly full of diseases. There were endless intrigues and the constant, chilling threat of a truly painful death. Doesn't sound quite so glamorous now, does it? That shining knight in his magnificent armor was probably a stressed-out, rather smelly man. He was constantly terrified of being poisoned by his own treacherous brother. So that's the real story behind the fairy tales. Now tell me, would you trade your modern life for a medieval crown? What do you think would be the absolute worst part of being a prince back then? Leave your comment down below. I'm genuinely curious to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history, please don't forget to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more shocking historical stories. And share this video with all your history-loving friends. Until the next video, take care.